This conference will now be recorded.
Any questions from anyone? Okay, if not, do you remember what were the different things that we have done in APP? We need to complete the automatic payment program today, and then we will be talking about the different further topics. So, what were the different steps in the configuration of APP? What is the first step in the configuration? How many steps total?
6 steps total.
Right, there are total 6 steps. Starts with all company code. There are 2 related to the company codes, right? All company code, second is paying company code. Next 2 are relevant to payment method. Payment method for country, payment method for company code. These are important to remember. These are very important questions in terms of the interviews. Okay, and last 2 are relevant to
House bank.
last 2 are related to bank configuration. So house bank and bank determination. Okay, so which bank will be making the payment? It is determined based on the bank determination. Okay, so we already seen all these settings. We also understood the APP run. APP run consists of how many steps?
4 steps.
4 steps. What are those steps? 4 P's. Starting with
Parameter.
Right. First is parameter. You enter the parameters in the payment program. Second is, once you enter the parameters, you execute a proposal where system proposes you the invoices which are due for payment. Okay, proposal will create either the payment list or the exception list. Exception means those invoices which are due, but due to some error or due to some any other issue, system is not able to pay those invoices. Once you finalize the proposal, you make the payment. This is where the accounting documents are created and the vendor line items are cleared. Vendor invoices are cleared. And finally, what is the last one that we are about to see today? We've seen parameters, we have understood the proposal, we have completed the payment cycle also, we have performed the debit checks also. What is the last one? Last one is print. Okay, print means once your payment is made in the system, you need to generate a print, or maybe it is not necessary that it has to be the physical print copy. Even if you want to send a PDF or a mail, okay, or a XML file to the bank, that comes under the printing program. Okay, so this is what we need to discuss today. This is where we are left with APP. Otherwise, all the other settings related to APP we have completed. So let me show you what exactly I mean. If I go to transaction F110, okay, I need to provide the run date and I need to provide the identification number. So let's say my run date is today's date 24/04/2021. In my identification number, I can provide any logical identification. Okay, so for example, let's assume if I'm paying from a particular bank, I can enter the bank ID and then the number. Okay, so for example, if I'm paying on a particular date and every date I want to generate a new number, even I can start with 1. Okay, so it has to be the logical number. If there is no hard and fast rule, what should be this identification? In the parameters, you tell the system, okay, I think this is already created for 24th. Let me create second one. So the combination of run date and identification is a unique combination, which identifies this payment run from other payment runs. So you have seen one is already created on this date. That is the reason system was able to show you the details of the payment run which is already executed with this ID. If I want to create a new, I have to enter a new identification number. Okay, then you enter the parameters. In the parameters, you specify you want to make the payment from which company code, which payment method should be included in the payment run, what is the next payment date. I told you why we enter the next payment date, in order to make sure that all the invoices which are due before this date are paid using this APP run. Okay, and then we provide which vendors we want to include in this payment run. So if you want to include all, you can just say 1 to ZZZ, which will include all the vendors in your payment run. Okay, you save the parameters. Now, just some additional things which we have not discussed previously. So these are the normal selection parameters that you provide. In addition to this, if you still want to add more conditions, okay, for example, if you want to tell the system, I want to pay only particular document, or I want to make a payment to only a particular, you can see there is a list of fields here within the document. So if you want to select a field from the vendor master record, let's assume I want to pay only those vendors whose account group is domestic. I want to make the payment to only those vendors whose account group is foreign. Or I want to make the payment to only those vendors whose payment term is this one, right? X, Y, Z, whatever we have created. So you can restrict, you can add additional field to remove those items which you don't want to pay. Okay, so for example, if I show you the document means the invoice document. So there are a lot of fields in the invoice document, and you can provide the selection criteria based on that. For example, I want to make the payment only for those invoices which are created in this fiscal year. I want to make the payment to only those invoices where assignment field has a particular value. I want to make the payment to only those invoices which are posted on a particular date or on the range of those dates, right? So you can provide additional selection criteria if required. Okay, you can take the additional criteria from the document, or you can take the additional criteria from the vendor master record. So I want to make the payment to only those vendors, okay, where the country is IN or country is US. I want to make the payment to only those vendors where city is a particular city, where a region is a particular one, where a postal code, where a industry. Okay, so whatever you enter in the vendor master data, based on that, if you want to make the payment, you can specify a additional selection criteria. If not, you can keep this blank. In additional log, you can specify that whenever a system will generate a proposal, okay, and
so you are expecting that a particular invoice will be selected, but due to some reason that invoice is not selected. So you want to see the log, you want to see what went wrong. So
Hi,
you can
Vikram.
click on these indicators. Yes.
Actually, your voice getting echo, and right now your voice is not clear. Could you please readjust your mic and all?
Just give me a minute. Is it at all?
okay, is it better now?
Yes, Vikram, it's clear now.
Okay,
Thank you.
I connected to the headphones now. Okay, so additional log means when you generate a proposal or when you create a payment, system generates a log which tells you what has been executed in the background, okay, and why, due to some errors or something, why the invoices were not selected. Okay, so if you want to add those logs, you can just click on these indicators, and based on this, the log will be generated. Okay, and the last one is a printout and the data medium. Just give me a minute. Yeah, this one only, it allows you two fields. So either payment method on all the cases or if successful. So this two, it will not allow you both. You have to either tick on this indicator or this indicator, which is saying payment method. The system will generate a log only when the system is not able to find the proper payment method. And if you tick on this indicator, in this case, system will generate a payment log even if everything is okay with the payment method. Okay, The last one is printout and the data medium. Now this is related to the old functionality in SAP. I'll explain you all those things. So as of now, because this is related to the old functionality, I'm not entering anything here and I'm just clicking on save parameters. Okay, so once you save the parameters, if you go to the status tab, you will find parameters have been entered. The next thing is you will execute a proposal. Now, based on these parameters, based on this information that I want to make the payment of this company code invoices, I want to include these payment methods, I want to include all those invoices which are due before this date, I want to include all these vendors. So based on these parameters, system will go and find out all those invoices which are fitting this selection criteria. Okay, but if you remember, because of some postings which we already made, the payment method P is available there, we need to remove that. Okay, so if I execute this, I can see there are few line items. Okay, if I double click on this, you can see my payment is blocked. Let me remove this. I want to remove the payment method also, and I want to remove this payment term also because I don't want to provide any cash discounts to a particular vendor. Okay, let me save this now. So now you can see I want to make the payment of this particular invoice. So when I execute a proposal, I'm expecting that system will automatically bring the open invoices of this particular vendor. So for that, I need to execute a proposal. Start proposal immediately. Okay, and if you want, you can generate a payment medium. I'll tell you what exactly is this. This is exactly what we are discussing in detail today. Just press enter. Proposal is running and payment proposal has been created. Now, once the payment proposal is created, you can see the log. So based on what you entered here, system will generate a log, full log. Click on this, you can see it is giving you the complete log. So what it is saying is log for the proposal run, this date and this identification number, due items with currency, payment method I. There are no payment, you can see there are no items with payment method I. That is the reason it is saying 0. Why? Because there are 3 invoices which we have seen in this screen. All these 3 invoices, they are not assigned to the payment method. If I double click on this, you can see payment method field is blank. And that is the reason system is telling you that system was not able to find any invoice with payment method I. Okay, you can see none of the payment methods defined can be used for these items. Information of this particular vendor in this company code, payment not possible because of reported error. Because system is not able to find any particular invoice, that is the reason if you go to the proposal, okay, you will find it is all red. System has not provided any, system was not able to find any line item which can be paid. Right? Why? Everything is an exception. Because the payment method that we entered in the payment run is not matching with the payment method in the line. Okay, just for your information sake, if I delete this proposal now, because I want to show you what will happen if system is able to find the invoice with payment method I. So I'll go back and change this payment method to I. Okay, now again, if I generate a proposal, start immediately, this is fine, press enter. So again, the proposal has been created. If I want to see the log this time, I can click on display the proposal log, and you can see information about this vendor. No valid payment procedure. Earlier, the error was no valid payment document, invoice document. Now it is saying no valid payment procedure. Okay, which means this is a different error. Let's see our proposal. So if I click on edit proposal, enter, see it is still in red. Now why it is in red now? So even though the invoice is having the payment method I, you can see there is a payment method I in this invoice. If I double click on this, no valid payment method found. Why? If I click on reallocate, you can see system is not able to determine the house bank and the bank ID. Can you tell me why the system is not able to determine the house bank and bank ID? We already provided in configuration. So let's go to FBZP. Okay. In bank determination, system is not able to determine the bank for our company code, which is XYIN. Let's go to the ranking order. In the ranking order, I can see for I currency INR, I want the system to determine SBI. This is creating a confusion. Let me remove this because this I added for another reason. I created one video on a new functionality in SAP, which I posted on YouTube. I hope you must have seen it. If not, I'll send you the link today. For that reason, I created this. So we don't need this in our case. I'm removing it. So I'm just maintaining the same configuration that we have done last time. What this configuration is, if the payment method is any currency, I want to make the payment from this bank. Okay, again in bank accounts also, I have to remove this HDFCI is fine. So this two, or at least this one, I need to remove. Even this one also I need to remove.
Hello, Vikram. What about P? Sorry, F?
F we are not using. In our case, we are using I. I is for domestic payments. That is the reason it is payment method I.
Okay. Okay.
Payment method F,
F
we have
for
not
foreign
produced any
means
transaction.
in. Okay.
Yeah, when we will post the foreign transactions, you can use payment method F. It will work in the same way. So if you understood one, second also work in the same way. You can create n number of payment methods. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So now first let me delete this proposal and see this time after making the changes in my configuration, system is able to determine or not. So again, proposal, enter. Proposal has been created. Let's see the display proposal log. And now can we see it is still showing no valid payment procedure. So what is wrong? Let me check. Maybe because we are not provided the currency INR. That is the reason it is creating a confusion. So let me do one more thing in the bank determination for XYIN company code ranking order. Let me enter the currency also. So I'm removing this, or maybe I'll first copy for INR. My house bank is HDFC. Apply. And then in bank accounts, again, I will copy this and I will say which bank account we were using previously. Was it Citibank or it was HDFC? I think that is the reason we are getting an issue here. I think in our
HDFC
last
only.
session, I think we were using Citi. Am I correct?
Yes, it was City.
It was Citi, right? HDFC I created for other purpose, and for that purpose, I think we are getting the issue. So let's do one thing. Let me change it back to what it was. So ranking order. Let me remove this. New entry. Payment method I, currency INR. House bank. Let's see what are the different house banks. Yes, let me use this. Okay. Save it. And then in bank accounts, again, let me remove all these things. Create a new entry for our house bank, which is Citi. Payment method, which is I. Currency, which is INR. The account ID that I want to use is this one. And the bank sub account that I want to use for our chart of account, which is XYZ. We created this one, incoming, outgoing. So let me select this. Okay, and save. Now it will definitely work. So if I go back to my proposal once again, more, edit, proposal, and delete.
Okay, and click on proposal, enter. Proposal is running. It has been created. Let's see the display proposal log. Now you can see creation of payment media. Even the payment using payment medium workbench is also created. Okay, I'll show you what exactly is this. So now if you see the log, it is not giving any error. It is saying the system is able to find out the invoice also. Okay, which means now if you go to the proposal, edit proposal, you would be able to see something in green. Okay, you can see payment list and the exception list. So out of the 3 invoices, I think at least both are with payment method I, and that is the reason system was able to select both of these invoices. Okay, so next step is, once your proposal is generated, if you are happy with the proposal, you can go ahead with the payment run. So I'll click on the payment run. Again, I will say start immediately and create the payment medium. And if I just press enter, so system will generate the payment. It will generate a posting order. Posting order means it will create an accounting document also, which will clear the vendor invoices, which means now if I go to my vendor invoices, which were showing open, right? If I execute, you can see those 2 invoices are gone. System was able to make the payment of those 2 invoices. Now only 1 invoice is open. Okay, whatever were in green, those 2 invoices are cleared. Okay, same way, like proposal log, you can also see the payment log. If you click on the payment log, it will again clearly tell you, you can see this document has been created. This accounting document has been created for the payment, and these 2 invoices are, or these 2 lines are cleared of the vendor. Okay, and then if you want to generate a payment list, if you remember last time I shown you, go to more, edit, payment, and you'll be able to click on payment list. Just press enter and system will tell you which payment document is created. So where is the payment document? This is my payment document number. Okay, and these 2 invoices are cleared. How much amount? 100 was debit, 900 was credit. So total amount paid should be 800. 800 has been paid to vendor. Okay, so
Can
till
you just
this
please
one we
remind
have,
us?
yeah, just 100. Till this one we have discussed in detail till our last session. We understood what is parameters, what are the proposals, what are the payments. We were able to execute all the steps till the last session. Even we have seen the debit balance check also. Now from here onwards, we are going to start a new topic for today. Once the payment is made in our system, we need to inform to 2 different parties. We need to inform, if it is a bank transfer, we need to inform the bank. We need to tell the bank that please make this payment to this particular vendor. Okay. Number 2, we need to inform the vendor that we have already processed this invoice. These are the 2 invoices for which we have made the payment. Okay, so expect a payment in another 1 or 2 days when the bank will credit to your account. Right, so these are the 2 important documents that we need to send to the bank and to the vendor. So the information that you send to the bank is called as a bank file. So system has to generate a bank file which will be sent to the bank so that a corresponding vendor is credited. And the file that you send to the vendor, it is called as a payment advice. Okay, payment advice means you are sending the vendor the information of the payment that you have made, and you are also clarifying to them against which invoice you have made the payment. Okay, yeah, any questions?
So Vikram, what will be the sequence, like whom we will sending the file first, either vendor or the bank?
Doesn't matter. So you can send both together. So normally it should be first to the
Because
bank and
if we
second
are
to the
sending
payment.
payment advice, because if we are sending payment advice to the vendor, he should know, right? Like payment has been made or not. If bank is not doing payment that time, and payment advice has been sent, then what is the use of that particular advice?
No. Payment, see,
So what should
payment
be the
advice
sequence?
means you have processed the payment. Now it is up to the
in
bank
the
to
system.
process.
Okay.
Tell me one thing, when you create a check, you send the check to the bank directly or to the vendor?
Vendor.
So in that case, bank is only informed after the vendor has submitted the check. But
Correct.
vendor is informed that yes, this payment has been made. So it totally depends upon the payment method. If your payment method is bank transfer, sequence can be here or there, but it should not be, there should not be delay of days. It should be delay of maybe
So
few minutes to few seconds. System is generating the files immediately, but when you are scheduling to send these files to the bank and to the vendor, that you can define.
so if manual also, then also payment advice goes to the vendor.
It is up to you. By default, manual payment doesn't send the payment advice. But if you want, you can create a Z program. Okay, you can, or maybe you can send a mail to the vendor. So it is all manual. When you talk about manual, it is all the manual activity which you have to perform. But when it is automatic payment, system
Okay.
allows you to download the file, keep it into the safe place from where it can be automatically triggered to the bank and to the vendor. Okay, I'll talk about
Okay,
that.
that
So sequence
configuration we
doesn't
need to
matter
do.
here. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, and yeah, last time you have showed if the error is coming in the payment at the time of APP run, so where exactly we should see if our
I'm coming to that. I'm coming
proposal
to
is
that.
already created.
That is exactly what I'm going to discuss that today. So as of now, don't
So we
expect that I
already
have covered
discussed it.
anything from the printing side. I'm going to cover each and everything from the printing side today.
No, that is not it. What I'm asking, that is not regarding the printing, that is regarding the error which was coming last time. The
Related to
proposal
what?
were not completed. The proposals were not completed and we were not able to create the proposal. It was giving error, right? Vendor was logged somewhere.
But that we solved already.
I
That error
just
we
want
already
to see
solved. I told you whatever proposals are
again
open,
that
you have to
particular
either
area
make the
you have
payment
given,
or
you
you
have
have
shown,
to.
right?
Sorry.
Somewhere you went in the proposal list and you have shown me, right? Like which particular vendor is creating the issue.
Right.
So that
So
area
that
I
part was
want to
closed,
see
right?
again. Yeah.
Is it still open? Do you want to still see that or what? I'm not getting you. Your voice is also too low today.
See that. I want to see that again. I was
Okay, I'll
just
show you first.
recollecting, but I couldn't recollect the particular.
So Arti, let's do one thing. Let me complete this because otherwise it will create a confusion. That is the reason I asked you before starting this if you have any questions related to the previous sessions. No problem. So let me complete this printing part. Later on, I'll give you the time. Any questions related to APP, we will discuss. Okay, because that is a completely different thing. What we are discussing now, it will completely go to the different direction. Okay, so now let's try to understand the printing part. So we have seen the parameters, we have entered the parameters, we have generated a proposal. After generating the proposal, we have made the payment to the vendor. But now we want to tell the bank and to the vendor regarding the payment that we have just now made. And that is the reason when we clicked on payment, there was the option generate a payment media. We ticked on that file. And based on that tick, if you go to more, okay, environment, payment medium, and here if you click on DME administration, okay, you can see system has generated the files. Why two files? One is related to the proposal because when we generated a proposal, at that time also we asked the system to generate a file. And second file is related to the payment. Normally proposal file we don't send to the vendor. We send the file which is related to the payment to the vendor and to the bank. So this is the file which is generated by SAP Okay, here you will be able to see what files are generated. If you double click on this, you will be able to see the complete structure. So you can see this company code, this country, using this run date and identification number, this much amount is paid to the vendor, okay, using this particular house bank. This is a format. I'll tell you what is a format. If you come down, you can see output medium. So in our case, currently we are not generating any printer. That is the reason this is by default. If you click on bank transactions, here you will be getting other information like what is the file name, who has created this file, date and all. This will only come when you actually save this file in the portal. I'll tell you what exactly I mean. So now if I come back, okay, and let's say I want to download this particular file. This is the administration information. So I'll just select this and I'll say download the file. You can see system is asking you, where should I download this file? So I'll say, I'll specify the path. I want to save this file in the desktop, at the desktop. Okay, and maybe this is XML file. So I have to provide some name. Let's say a.xml, save. Okay, press enter. So download successfully completed. Now if you go to the desktop, you should be able to see the XML file. If I double click on this, this is a file which will be sent to the vendor. You can see to the bank. What information it has? It has the information related to how much payment from which company. Okay, you can see even if you come down, you'll be able to see the bank details of the vendor also. So this is my vendor. Okay, you can see these are the bank details of the vendor to whom you want to make the payment. Right, so what is happening is, you can see here also the bank details are in ICICI. This is, I think this is a bank account number. So this file will be sent to bank. Once this file is received from the bank, what bank will do? Bank will accordingly make the payment to the vendor. They will credit the vendor account and they will debit your account from the bank side. Right, now once this file is generated, you also want to send the payment advice. So normally you should be able to see this in transaction SP01. If I just execute this, okay, it is still not generated. Payment advice is not generated. I'll show you what exactly is a payment advice and how it is generated. So let me just take you to the payment program once again. This is my payment program. Let me provide here some variant. Okay, so let's say this is my variant is T001. Okay, you can provide whatever name you want and maintain variant. This is where you need to enter you have to tick on this indicator, and this is where you need to enter the same program run date and the identification number. So 2402-2021 and identification number is 2. Okay, just come back, save this, just provide some description. I'm providing the same description here, save, come back, come to the status, save, and then click on the printout. Okay, now once you click on the printout, if you go to SP01, now what is SP01? SP01 means spool. So normally, you know, forget about SAP. When you are printing, okay, any particular file, if you have thousands of files you are printing or 100 papers you are printing, what will happen is, first of all this 100 pages goes to spool, and from there it starts printing one by one. So this is SAP spool transaction code SP01, where you would be able to see the files which are getting generated. So as of now, it is still not generating, something wrong. Let me select, this is correct. Let me see the status. So again, if I go to F110 and I want to see the payment file log. So if I click on payment, it will show me this print job log. Let me double click on this. You can see the error is maintain the output device in your master record. System is not able to know which device will be used to print. It can be a physical printout or it can be the PDF printout. So what I need to do is, in this case, this is because I have not maintained this properly. I have to click on maintain variants once again, and here just enter the printer as LP01, which means this is a system printer. We are not actually printing anything, we are just printing it in the system. Okay, we are not doing the physical printout, it is just a file creation in the system. That is the reason I'm using this printer LP01, which you will find normally in each and every system. And if you are not able to find LP01 in your system, you need to contact Basis. This is a virtual printer they need to create. Okay, normally by default it is available, but if it is not available, contact Basis, they will be creating this for you. Again, save, go back, and let's again try to generate a printout. I'm just providing, apart from the question mark, I'm just providing 2. Going ahead, yeah, it should be immediately, so I'm ticking on immediate. Okay, and then again let's go to the payment log. Now you can see the printout has been generated. Okay, although there are some forms which are defective, I'll tell you why those are defective and whom to contact if they are defective. But as of now, just to show you the payment advice, I will go to transaction SP01. Again execute. Now you can see system has generated a payment advice, and using the old program, system also tried to generate the bank file. Bank file we already seen how it is created, XML file which I shown you. Okay, if you remember, the bank file is already downloaded in our desktop. This is a file which will be sending to bank. Now I'll show you which file you will be sending to vendor. So if you click on this, this is a payment advice that you are going to send to the vendor. So you can see this is your vendor number, payment advice. You are telling the vendor that we have made the payment using this document. Okay, and we have cleared these 2 line items in our books. Okay, so now first I'm just keeping it simple. This is one of the complicated activity what you do in the project, but as a beginner you don't need to worry about all these things. Even in your certification PDFs, if you go, these things are not discussed in detail. I'm just explaining at the mid level so that when you are working in the industry you should be able to have a basic knowledge. Advanced knowledge, you have to work for some years on this particular activity, then only you'll be able to gather the advanced knowledge, because each bank requires a separate file. Each bank has its own template of getting the file from the SAP system. So I will just give you the basic information, how these files are generated, where to start. Okay, instead of starting from scratch, how you can utilize the SAP standard tools to make it simple. Okay, so just remember, when you are printing, what are the 2 printouts you need? One is the
PDF for LP01.
Sorry, PDF and
LPC. The print should be bank file and the payment advice.
right. So one is bank file and second is payment advice. Bank file you will be sending to bank, and payment advice you will be sending to the vendor. These are the 2 important files that you want to generate.
Can you repeat bank file scenario once?
Bank file is a file that you are sending to the bank to tell the bank that I want to make the payment of this much amount to this vendor, and these are the vendor bank details. So if you see this,
so it is having standard format in SAP, right?
Currently, the format that we have used is a standard format, but as I told you, when you are working in the actual project, it might happen that you are dealing with multiple bank accounts. Okay, let's say you have a bank account in ICICI, you have a bank account in HSBC, you have a bank account in Citibank, and all of these banks, when they are asking you to send the payment file, there might be some differences in the template. For example, the structure, you can see it is first asking you a particular number, then it is asking you the date, then it is asking you the amount. So columns may be here or there. Okay, and that is exactly what I'm trying to show you. Currently, the file that is created, this is a default format which is available in SAP. If you want to change this format, I will just give you the basics how to change it. But again, as I told you, it totally depends upon a lot of your practice. Then only you will be becoming expert in this. And nobody is expecting this payment file generations from you, even if you are 2 to 3 years of experienced. Okay, this is one of the core. I have seen normally in the companies, the person who is working on this bank file is totally dedicated as a banking, you can call it as a SAP banking consultant. Okay, normally if you are FICO consultant, very few scenarios you need to configure this file, but normally this is a separate area in SAP which is related to banking. And that too, if you are using SAP FSCM module, then this is a total responsibility of a FSCM consultant, because there are a lot of approvals may be required before you send this file to the bank. And that is exactly why we were getting the error last time. Last time, if you remember, we were not able to generate the bank file. We were getting some error. And the reason that I found out was someone is practicing on the same server for FSCM also, and he has created the approvals, which means system will not generate the payment file till the manager is not approving this payment. Right? So just remember, what I'm showing you is just the basics of payment media. Advanced one, for your level, it would be very difficult to digest at this stage. Okay, and that is again, that is one reason. Second
Actually,
reason, nobody is
I
expecting
have to
you to
cut
know all these things in detail. Even in the certification exam, they are not going to ask you any questions related to generation of the payment medium files.
Actually, in my project, I have to configure these two things. We don't have FSCM module in our project. So that
In
was,
that case,
that's
I will
why.
send you one video which I normally take in the experience batch. If you want, I can share that video with you.
Okay, okay, fine. So DME also there
I
in
will
that
share with all of
file.
you. If you are interested, you can go through it. If you are able to digest, fine. If you are not able to digest at this stage, it requires a lot of effort in the project.
So DME will come into the picture, right? If we are sending the file
This is
from
DME.
SAP to bank.
What we are discussing is DME itself.
Okay. And you are showing the basic also how to change the format if the
Yes, I'm
bank
coming.
recommended format we got.
Yes, I'm coming to that. Okay, so as of now, how system is able to determine this file is based on the configuration that we have made in automatic payment program. So in automatic payment program, we have this payment methods in country and payments method in company code. If you go to payment methods in country, okay, and if I open the one country IN and payment method I, here you should be able to see use payment medium workbench, and this is a file format that I have assigned to this payment method. If you don't assign this, then system will give you error that the file format doesn't exist, and that is the reason system will not be able to generate any payment file. Right, so this is where you would be able to see that the format, the bank file format which you need to assign. Okay, and this bank file format is created using, let me show you, an SPRO, IMG, financial accounting.
This is the one which we have available, right, in SAP.
Right, yes. Okay, so bank, sorry, I need to go to AR and AP. Within this, business transactions, outgoing payments. Within outgoing payments, we have automatic outgoing payments, what we are doing from last few days. And within automatic outgoing payments, you have this payment media. Okay, in payment media, you have to make the settings for payment medium formats from payment medium workbench. You have to click on this. Okay, and these are the settings that might be relevant for you. So in our case, you can see create a payment medium format. Just open this. It will give you the list of all the payment medium formats which are available in the standard SAP. Now try to understand the first two characters most of the time are country. So some of the formats SAP already knows. SAP already knows that if you are working from the particular bank in the particular country, they require this particular format. Okay, so if you come down, You will be able to see a lot of countries. This is for Australia. This is for, I think, Belgium. Yes, you can see Belgium. If you come down, you can see for Brazil, you can see for Canada. So like this, SAP might provide you the formats which can be directly put into use. Okay, but for some countries, for example, in India, you might not be able to see these files. The reason being, if you ask me how many of percentage of customers are using this particular functionality in India, I will say not more than 10%. Okay, because in India, still there are many companies who are using checks. They are transferring these files manually in the Excel to the banks, because as of today also, this process is not very standardized in India. But if you see the European countries normally, Swift, where they follow this Swift, even in US, they follow ACH format. I am not sure what is ACH format, but normally they follow ACH format. So these formats are pretty much standardized. Okay, and SAP knows how exactly those work, and that is the reason SAP has provided a lot of templates. For India, SAP has just provided one standard template, which can be, it is not for a particular bank, it can be utilized as a sample, as a template, and then you can modify the things according to your requirements. Okay, so for example, for India, SAP has provided the format which starts with IN. You can see this is a particular format. Okay, these are obsolete, you can see, no need to use others. This is a format which I assign to my payment method. And if you try to understand this format, let's open this. Okay, you can see this is used for the electronic payment medium. As an electronic payment medium, it will generate the XML file, right? It will be used for the banks which are related in India. The normal bank format, this will be provided to you by bank. So whenever bank is asking you that I want a file in this particular format, so they will tell you what is the name of that format. Is it a Swift format, or is it this is a PAIN format? So these are the internationally recognized formats in which the companies can send the bank files to the banks, right? And then most importantly, if you go to format required, no, not this one. If you go to DMEE, so let's assume this is my format. Now, in order to design this file, we go to transaction code DMEE. Okay, here your payment tree type would be FPay, or sorry, PAYM, and format tree. This is what you need to specify. Click on display. Okay, so do you want to open the format tree in DMX? Yes. You can see this is the structure of this file. So if you see this file properly, the one that was generated in XML, you can see it starts with XML NS colon XSI. This is a location from where. So how the system is able to enter all this information? If you see here, if I double click on this, okay, and you can see the source. Just for your information sake, this has nothing to do with just give me a minute. Yeah, you can see XMLNS, and then I just want to show you where exactly this is coming from. HTTP v3 w3. This is ISO. There should be the constant value here. It is a constant value, and then the value should be here. You can see this urn.iso. So for example, if I remove this, if I delete from here, okay, if I go to the change mode, and let's assume if I delete this particular thing from here, what will happen? Then in your file, this information will not appear. So this is default. Bank has given you the instructions that the first line should be always this, and that is the reason you have entered this as a constant. In every file, the first thing it will start is in this way. The first line will be in this way, right? And then there will be the dynamic values. So for example, this is my message ID, this is my date. Let's go to the date. So this is the default information. Okay, even this is a default information. Now here, if you see payment information and group header. So if you open the group header, there is a message ID, okay, which is dynamic. This is a message ID. From where this is coming? So you can see the source of this particular message ID is this structure, FPAYHX. The structure means a technical table in the background. So what is happening is, whenever you are making the automatic payment program, there are few tables in the background which are getting updated. Okay, so just to show you some example of the tables. Normally the table starts with RE. So REGUH, REGUP, these are the standard tables in SAP. If I want the information of this particular run ID, which I executed on 24th of April 2021, and identification number 2, it will give me all the information of this particular payment. You can see this is the payment document number which got generated. Okay, you can see here, if you go to the right hand side, you will be able to see more information. Who is the vendor, what is his bank details, okay, what is his account number, how much payment you made, from which bank account you made the payment, which invoices were cleared, okay, how much total amount was paid. So all this information is captured here. So same information, what is happening is, you are mapping here. You are telling the system, I want to show my first column as, in this file, I want to show my first column as message ID. I want to show my second column as the creation date. So this is nothing but a creation date, which is coming from this structure and this field. Same way, if you come down in the payment information section, you would be able to see, let's see logically here. So payment information, you can see from here onwards, the payment information is started. So this is the payment information ID, which is a technical ID generated in the background. If you see this control sum, this is 800 that we have paid. This is, you can see this is the date. This is our name, our company name. So amount, date, our company name, you will be able to see in a particular sequence. So if you go to payment
so
info now,
these are all technical information, right?
these are all technical information coming
So
from
is
the
this
table.
necessary? We should know like each and yeah. So is this
Don't need to
necessary? We should
know
know each and every.
No, it is not possible
Okay.
to remember each and everything. Based
So
on what is required, you just should know that this is available in the tables in the background. So there are few tables, I'll talk about those tables also. REGUP, REGUH, these are the standard tables which are storing
so
the
what is the
data.
difference between in the both table REGUH and REGUP?
One is settlement data, second is the payment data. The difference is,
Processed payment.
yeah, so what information is stored in what table? REGUH is storing the settlement data. Settlement data means it will tell you which invoices are cleared. If you go to
Which invoices is
REGUP,
cleared. Okay.
right, so this is processed items, or maybe other way around. REGUP is showing, just give me a minute. So,
The payment processed payment, I think.
right, so information would be different in different tables. Otherwise, systems unnecessarily, SAP will not give you n number of tables. Yeah, here you can see these two invoices are cleared. So this is giving you the information related to which open items are processed with this particular payment program.
Okay.
Okay.
The other one will show simply information of the invoices,
That
is
will
it?
show you which bank account of the vendor has been debited. This one is not showing the bank related information of the vendor and your bank. So
Okay. It
the
will be showing
information
the clearing
stored
document
at,
number.
yes, the information is stored at different tables. I'll show you here also there is a grouping. So you can see these are the sources from where the data can come. One is payment data,
Okay. So these
data
are
on the paid items.
these are the DMEs.
DME is a full file that we are discussing. These are the structures.
I thought DME is a process which send file from SAP to bank. That is a process. I
Exactly.
thought that is a
Exactly.
DME.
Yes, DME is a functionality in SAP which allows you to create the files as per the templates provided by bank.
Okay, and how we
Right.
will send it from SAP to bank?
Let's first understand the file creation, then coming to the next part. First of all, we need to create a file,
Okay.
then only you will be able to send, right?
Okay.
So currently what we are understanding is what is the template of that file that we need to create. Okay, so this is what we are discussing is currently all about the template,
Okay.
right? So this templates, you can see this is where you can group the different columns. You can change the, like for example, if I want to change, this field should come first and this field should come next. Okay, if you want to restructure these fields, I don't want to do it because this is standard behavior, and please don't try to make any changes. If you want to make any change, first create a copy of this, then only you make the change. Okay, and that too I request not to do in this system because unnecessarily it should not happen that nothing is working later on. So as I told you, this is a area where it requires a lot of practice, a lot of patience. And normally, please remember, even in the project, you don't need to create any file from scratch. You need to take a sample file and just modify it according to your requirement. Let's assume Citibank is asking this same format, but another bank is saying, no, I don't want this field. This field is not relevant to me. Why should I unnecessarily make the use of this field? So you can simply delete this particular field. Okay, I'm currently in the display mode, it will not allow. In the change mode, I can delete a field, I can add a new field, and I can tell the system from which table I want to pick that data. So this is what is the purpose of DME. DME allows you to change the format, change the template of the file that you are going to send to your vendor and to your bank. Okay, normally DME is for bank. For vendor, it is just a form, which is a smart form. I'll show you where exactly that smart form also will come into the picture. But DME is normally the process through which you send the files to bank. Is this clear now? The template?
Yeah, Vikram, one query here.
Yeah.
Suppose this is a single file which has been given by this is a single template which has been given by the SAP. Okay. Suppose
Right.
bank provide any particular file which we have to configure in the SAP and need to send to the bank. Can you just show the process, the steps, how I can configure the new file?
So you need to, as I told you, you don't need to start from scratch. What you normally do is you
Okay.
copy. Okay, so this is a standard tree which is provided by SAP. But now if I want to create a new file, a new format tree, let's say I want to create it for a particular bank. Let's say I'm creating this for ICICI Bank. Okay, I want to generate an XML file. If I just copy it, now once it is copied, okay, once it is copied, you can make the changes here. So if you want to bring a new field, you can bring a new field. If you want to delete a particular field, you can delete that field also. I'll show you. Just give me a minute. So is this clear now? What is DME? Why we are configuring DME?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's do one thing. Let me go to the payment information. See, currently what is happening, this many number of fields are appearing in my file. Now, what will be changed? Normally, most of the information is same, what you send to the banks. But what they will ask is maybe the flow. They will say, okay, this field should be here. This field should be after this field. Okay, so those kind of changes can come. Or even there are some fields which business will say, I don't need. So what you can do is you can delete a particular field also. Okay, or you can add a new field also. So just for example's sake, let me add a new field here. Okay, you can see from here.
Also may change, right?
Yes, that is the whole purpose of DME. That is the reason why SAP has provided this
No,
tool.
the file which SAP was having, that was the XML file, and bank has provided the other file. I think that shouldn't be XML again. So these parameter will work there. Like these field will work there if we will be copying the same file and we will just changing the format of the file. and we are like modifying these fields. So will this work in the new format?
Sorry, I'm not getting you. Can you come again?
The SAP given file that was in the XML format, right? And if
Yeah.
bank is providing, that shouldn't be in the XML format. It should be in another format. So what we are doing, we are providing the tree, means we are providing the new file by copying the old file, correct?
Okay, just 1 minute. First of all, you are saying the file that you are generating, the file that you need to send to the bank is not a XML file. It is in some other format. If that is the case, if you
Correct.
remember, that is not a file format. File format can be anything, but the type of the file you can control from here. Let me show you. So again, I'm going to AR and AP, business transactions, and then outgoing payments. It got stuck. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so server issue. So financial accounting, AR and AP, business transactions, outgoing payments, automatic payment media. Okay, and here I was showing you the create payment medium formats. So the first thing that you will do is you will create a payment medium format here. In our case, it starts with IN. So this is our payment medium format. If you double click, see, as I told you, this is where you can change the format of the file.
Okay.
Okay, this is where the type of the file can be changed, whether it is a text file or it
Most
is
of the time it
IDoc
will
or it
be
is,
IDoc, right?
sorry?
Most of the time it will be IDoc.
No. Most of the time it would be XML. Banks always will ask you the files in the XML. IDoc means if your SAP system is connected to the bank's SAP system, then you do the IDoc, which is very, very rare.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to change the type of the file, you can change it from here. But if you want to change the format, the columns in the file, then you have to go to the DMEE tree. So in the DMEE tree, you have to go, I think I closed it. Let me open once again. So DMEE, this is my format. Let's try to click on change. Yes. Okay, not this one. I think the one that I created, copied was ICI. Normally, when you are creating your own file, it should not be starting with IN, it should be starting with Z. So let's say ZN ICICI, and I want to create this new file. Okay, so it is asking you whether you want to create as a flat file or XML file. Okay, but as I told you, if you create from scratch, it will take a lot of effort. You should try to copy it. Okay, so we are telling the system that we want to copy this from, what was the original name? So
CGI.
format tree IN star, yeah, CGI. So I'm copying from this one and I'm copying to this. This is not a child, this is a tree in itself. Copy. Okay, now once it is copied, you can see this is my file. I can make whatever changes I want. Right, so for example, I want to add some fields in group header, or I want to add some fields in payment info, that I can do it here. Okay, or even if I want to change the values of this. So currently, if I go to my dbtr field, what is the source here? The source is, okay, it is anyways blank. Let me show you. Yeah, the source is this one, this structure, this field. Now, if you want to change this, if you want to change the structure, if you don't want to take this value, you want to take some other value, even that also can be changed here. Okay, so let me first copy the node. Let's say I want to copy this node. Copy. Is it copied? Okay, in this node, there are a lot of components. Payment ID. Okay, let's try to add a new one. So where should I add? Let me see the file structure first. So payment info, within payment info, I have a payment info ID. Okay, and then let me add a structure, create an element at the same level, which means this level. Now this element is, let's say I want to bring a new value. Let me show you. So let's say my new element is, just assume something. Let's go to table, REGUP, run ID and identification number. Okay, I'm not sure whether this field already exists, but I'm trying to add one new field here. Just assume vendor I want to add. I'm 100% sure vendor is already here, but still just to show you this particular scenario, I want to add a vendor here. So what I'll do, I'll give the name, whatever name you want. I will come down. Okay, I can set up the length. I know the length can be of 10 characters. Okay, I'll come down and I will tell the system this is the structure field. I don't want to use a constant. I want to use a structure field. Okay, I will go to source. In the source, I have to specify which structure. So what are the available structures available? I have this 3 structures available. FPAYH, FPAYHX. So this payment data, I think it should be able to give me the payee information, which is payee is nothing but my vendor. Reference to business partner receiving the payment, right? So name of the payee, for example, I want to enter the name of the payee, or maybe I want to enter the code of the payee. So code should be, let's see where is the vendor field. Even I can copy this from other structures also. So payment media payer bank, this is my payer. Okay, name one, the other details, city, issuer. I just want to see the number, not the name. Or let's take a name of the vendor. So in that case, I want this field, name one. Okay, from this structure. Which is my structure? My structure is FPAYHX. FPAYHX. And my field name for name is NAMEZ. NAMEZ. And please remember the length. I said 10 characters. My name could be more than 10 characters. So I'm saying 50 characters. Okay. If aggregations are required, normally for vendor not required, conditions are not required. Let's try to save it. Okay, once you save, you have to activate also. It is important that you activate also. Without activation, it will not work. Okay, so now next time, when this new file will be used, you have to assign this new file, the new format that you have created to your payment method in country. Okay, and then you will be able to see the new field that you have activated. It will start showing you the value. Okay, so this is how you can remove a particular field. This is how you can delete a particular field. If you want to delete, you can see there is an option button here. So just select which field you want to delete. For example, I want to delete this. No, this is not a field. You have to see which field is relevant. Just select that field and you can click on the delete button if it is applicable. If it is a system field, it will not allow you to delete. If it is a field that you are trying to create in the file, then it will allow you to delete. Okay, so now what you need to do, just remember 2 things. If you created a new payment format, you have to go to transaction FBZP. In the payment methods in country, you are assigning it to I, payment method I. Okay, so here you need to assign the newly created format. So if you do F4, System should be able to show you the new created format. Is it showing? It is still not showing. Have we activated it? Yes. Let's go to steps one by one. So SPRO, IMG, financial accounting, all these DME files are created in this particular screen. Account receivable, business transactions, outgoing payments, automatic outgoing payments, payment media, okay, and this payment medium formats. So first is create the payment medium format. Let's see if it is created here already. So our payment medium format is starting with Z. It is still not showing. Let me create a new entry. Or maybe let's copy. So SPRO, IMG, business transactions, outgoing payments, automatic outgoing payments, payment media, this one, and then create. Let's see, IN. So this is a one which we want to copy. Click on copy. Okay. And here, if you come down, you should be able to assign to the DME engine that we have created. I'll show you. So what we created was ZN ICI, right? So electronic payment medium, this is fine. It is also SAP script. It is assigned to XML. Format is also fine. Okay, just come down. You have to click on this DME engine here in order to assign that DME file. So in the DME engine, this is fine. DME engine file is already created. Now let's go back and try to apply and copy all. Enter, enter, and save. Okay. Okay, now this tree format has been created. So let's go back and try to see this tree format here, which is starting with Z and star. This is the one you can see. Okay, let's select it and save it. So this is number one. Number two, you have to very importantly create and assign the selection variants. If you are creating any new payment medium format or for any new company code, this activity is mandatory. So what is this activity? It is very simple. Just select your payment medium format, which is in our case ZN. Okay, here you will be able to see all the payment medium formats which are created. So this is the first, this is the one. Double click on this, and for your bank, currently our bank is this. There must be some selection variant assigned. If it is not there, click on change button. Just provide any selection variant. Let's say my selection variant is same as my bank. Click on this, click on yes. Okay, this is similar to what we have done. So you have to specify the run date, you have to specify the identification. This normally you can keep it blank. The payment medium format that you have created, you have to specify here. This one, just press enter. It will ask you one or two more things. Specify the printer for payment summary or select the screen output. So it is asking you either the printer or the screen output. So you have to specify this or you have to specify this. Screen output means you don't want to physically print. you are fine with the screen output also, or you specify this, both are okay. Okay, so payment summary layout, no layout found, you can just go ahead with screen output. Okay, go back, save this, just provide the description, save. Okay, and the variant has been saved. Now this variant which you saved, you have to assign it here and save it. Okay, so now if you try to execute the FBZP once again, okay, first of all, there is only one line item we can see. Let's go to FBL1N and remove all those payment methods and other issues, so that it is payment block I am removing, and I am saying payment method as I am removing this payment term also. Okay, and save this. Okay, now we can proceed with the payment of this particular invoice. So FBZP, sorry, not configuration, we want to execute this. F110, let's create third one, parameters. Our company code will remain same, payment methods are again same, next payment date is same. These are our vendors. Okay, status, I have to save the parameters. So parameters have been saved. Let's click on proposal. So if I click on proposal, you can see there is an option if you want to generate a file, but this file will be just created. You are not going to send. This is just for the information purpose in case of proposal. In case of payment, this is the final file which will be sent to the bank. So enter. Let's see the proposal log. So system is able to generate a payment media file. You can see ZNICI XML CT. Okay, everything looks okay. Let's go ahead with the payment run. Okay, start immediately. Again, I'm creating a payment file. So enter. Payment has been generated. You can see. So if I go to more, if I go to environment, payment medium, and DME administration, I can see the file has been generated. And if you want to download the file, select the file and click on this download button. Okay, let's assume this one I want to save again at my desktop. Okay, or let's say I want to, yeah, in the desktop, let's say b.xml. Save it. Okay, now if you go to the desktop, you will be able to see another XML file, and this time let's see. Oh, this is our name. So the field that we have used, the only thing is you need to remember it is showing vendor, but name it is showing our name. The reason is the field that we have selected, this is not actually the vendor name, it was our company name. So what you need to do now is you go to DMEE, just ensure that the field that you mapped, okay, which field we mapped to, this one particular one. If you come down, okay, this is standard one. In our case, it is ZICI, sorry, this one, change. Okay, so if you go to the last one, we entered the vendor. So the structure that we have assigned is not correct. That is the reason system is showing our name instead of vendor name. So this is incorrect, right? If you want vendor name, let's see which is the correct source. So payment data, so this is very important. You have to identify who is our vendor. Pay means our, I think, pay. Pay, medium, pay, title of the pay, name of the pay. Let's try this one. So in PAYH only and ZNME1. Okay, I'm mapping this field to the other structure. Okay, so tree has been activated. So again, let me try to generate a payment file of the same document itself. So I can click on printout, start immediately, let's say 4. Okay, and let's go and see more environment, payment medium, and DME administration. No, it is not generating. So what I need to do is, let me quickly create another invoice. This vendor, this invoice date, this reference, let's say this much amount. Okay, and I will ensure in the payment tab P is not there. Instead of P, it is I don't have any payment term, and my payment is also not blocked. Okay, post. Okay, so now if I try to make the payment of this particular invoice, let's say number 4, parameters, payment method, next payment date, vendors 1 to ZZZ. Okay, save the parameters, go to status, execute a proposal, start immediately, create a payment medium. So we will see the payment medium now itself instead of after making the payment. Proposal is running, proposal is created. So let's go to more, environment, payment medium, DME administration. Let's see if this proposal is properly created. Sorry, this file is properly created or not. So desktop, let's say c.xml. Downloaded. Let's go to the desktop and let's go to the last one. Yes, you can see the vendor number is properly populated here. So this is how, based on the requirement of different formats, you have to keep on playing with this file. Okay, this requires a lot of patience. This requires a lot of R&D. Okay, so like there are multiple structures available. You need to finalize which structure is having this information. You have to map to that structure. Okay, you have to keep on moving the fields from one place to another place to make sure that the file which is required by the bank is exactly matching with the file that we have created. So there are, again, this is not a very straightforward activity that you have created and bank will accept. There are multiple to's and fro's. So you will generate a file, you will send it to the bank, bank will say, no, this is not correct, please make this change. Again, you will make some changes. It takes at least 3 to 4 iterations to finalize this particular file. Okay, I hope
So
this
one
is very
question
much clear now.
Yeah, I'm having one question here.
Yeah,
When we are configuring the payment advice, we are giving the variant in the F110, right?
right.
In the prints. So in this form also, bank form also, we are giving any variant to there?
Just now we have given the variant in the configuration itself.
Not in configuration, in F110.
No. In F110 is not required.
Okay. So here in configuration, we have given the variant and we have provided the date, right?
Right.
The date we have provided for the today. And what about if we want to reuse? We will be reusing the bank format again and again. So do we need to
No,
go
we are
again?
not provided. We are not provided any date. Let me show you. Date and identification number we are not provided. If I show you, we just provided the format tree and the printer. So outgoing payment, automatic outgoing payment, payment media, and then you have this one. Okay, and this is where we created the variants. So for our format tree, which is this one, the variants which we assigned is city and P. If you see the values of this variant, I'm in the display mode. So let me change mode, enter, select this and execute. Okay, let's click on change otherwise. So click on this, select this, and why it is not allowing to display?
Will double click will work? Double click will work.
Not working. I tried double click and I tried this one. It is not going. Okay, so let me copy. Copy also is not working. Normally clicking on this, it should work. It should take us to that particular variant.
So we can reuse this variant,
Okay,
right? If
I'm
we are
just,
not giving dates.
yes, same thing I told you. So this one, if you see under the values of this, maybe I'll try to create another one for HDFC. So let's say this is my variant. Okay, I'll say yes. This one I'll say continue. Okay, so I'm not entering run date and identification. I'm just entering the payment medium format which I created. Okay, and if you remember, I selected this screen output. These are the only two things that I have maintained over here, nothing else.
So why SAP has given this run date and identification option? Because
Run
if we
for
are
a
giving,
particular-
that will be only one-time use.
Yeah, this program, what we are showing you, this SAP FPAM program, this can be used independently also. So sometimes if you want to generate a file directly for a particular run, you can directly run this program. Okay, but when
Same
the
case
system
with
is
payment
automatically,
advice also.
sorry,
Same case with payment advice also. We are giving payment variant only in the payment advice also, right?
no, for payment advice, because you are not providing in the configuration. For payment advice, you are doing for each and every APP run. That is the reason you are providing
Okay.
in the APP run itself.
Okay, and that time we will be giving run date and identification.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, every time it has to be changed. Okay.
All right. Payment advice is optional. Okay. See, even both are optional. It is not like payment advice is optional, but normally the bank file is generated automatically. If you want to generate the payment file, then you have to provide in APP run. If you don't want to generate the APP, payment advice, in that case, you can skip this particular activity. See, in this case, I have not assigned any variant. So system has not generated the payment advice. If I want to generate a payment advice, then I have to create a variant. Okay, let's say again T001 and maintain variants. Here I need to make the change as 4, save it, and then I have to execute a print. There is option to print.
For this form is already assigned in the configuration, right?
Yes, I'm coming to that form. So that I'll show you how you can assign the form. Status, where is print option here? So go to the screen has been changed a lot. That is the reason it creates a confusion sometimes. Payment. Showing print here. Oh, sorry. It is
Only
the
proposal.
proposal has
Yeah.
been created. Print is only possible once your payment is posted. So maybe for third one, I'll show you. Yeah, you can see this printout option. Okay, even if I have not assigned anything here, let's go to T001, maintain variant. Let me save this to 3. Save it, come back. You have to save it here also, and then you can click on the printout. So this will generate a payment advice, which you can see from the spool SP01. Okay, so now if you go to SP01, you will be able to see the payment advice for this particular payment. Payment advice, which we executed recently, is 532, this one. Okay, so this is the payment advice.
Initially, I
Okay, so
thought we give the form name only in the additional log, but we give the variant here, right?
We give the variant, yes. Now let me show you the form also, the last step in this one. The form for the payment advice. So form for the payment advice again can be configured from FBZP. I think it comes under payment method in company code. Let me double click here. Form data. No, not this one. Payment advice control. This is also fine. Just ensure that if you say payment advice none, then system will not generate the payment advice. So just select this one. Normally we select this one. Okay, just 1 minute. Let me check where the form is assigned. So paying company code XYIN, double click forms. Yes, this is a payment advice form. Again, I assigned the standard one. Now, if you want to change this, if you want to change the content of the form, you cannot do as a functional consultant because this form is designed by the technical consultants. So either they will be creating a form as a SAP script or they will be creating a form as a PDF. Either the case, they have to make the changes in the form. This is a standard one which I have used. If you are okay with this, you can continue. If see, nobody will go with the standard one. If they are generating the payment advice, at least they want to see their logo. Okay, so currently it is all incomplete, right? If you go to SP01 and if you see this payment advice which is generated, what is this? Normally nobody will send this kind of forms to the vendor, right? We want at least the logo here. We may want to change some things here. So if that is the case, that is the big difference between the normal old form and the DME file. DME file can be controlled by the functional consultant. It is very easy to manage, right? We don't need ABAPer or technical knowledge to change the content of the DME file. But yes, sometimes if the logic is very complicated, if you want to bring the data from multiple tables to fit it into DME, you may need ABAP help also. Okay, but normally it is simple. So you can, as a functional consultant also, you can change the DME file. But when it comes to the forms, this kind of forms, you definitely need ABAP help in order to make the changes to your form.
Payment advice will not be called as a DME, right? Only the bank file will call DME because
Bank
it is
file
going
is
from
called.
one source to other source.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
bank file is. Okay. Now the next question, what you were asking earlier. DME is all about file creation. Okay, payment advice is file creation. File is created. Bank file is created. Now, how it will be sent to the vendor and the bank? We just created a file. It is available in our SAP system. How this file will go to bank and to the vendor, that is something which technical consultant is concerned. Technical consultant will be taking care of that. So I will give you multiple options what normally happens. So what will happen is once the bank file is generated, we just need to tell the technical consultant that this is our process. At the end of this process, this file will be generated. And we want the file as soon as it is generated to be sent to the bank, or maybe in some cases, we want all the files which are generated in a day. At the end of the day, this should be transferred to the bank. Now the question is, your developer will ask you, okay, I can take the file from here, but where should I upload these files? Where should these files go? Do you want me to send this to the banks through mail, or you want to upload this file in their portal? So if you are looking for end-to-end, like no manual activity, what we can do is you can check with the banks. They have their own portals. They will tell you that, okay, this is a place, this is the IP address. Every day or immediately whenever the file is getting generated, please ensure that your file is uploaded at this portal. Once the file is uploaded on that portal, bank will immediately process the payment to the vendor. So that is all technical. That is something which your ABAP, even there is something called as PIPO, which integrates one system to another system. Okay, their bank connectivity also, there is another skill which is available in the market, and SAP also provided some additional tools to connect the bank with your SAP system. So based on that, the file will be sent. So that is not our area of understanding, because we don't need to worry about how the file will be sent to the. Our responsibility is to generate a file. Once the file is generated, how it will be sent to the bank, that is something which has to be taken care by the interface team.
So that is called host to host connectivity. Am I correct?
Lot of things. It can be host to host, it can be email, it can be just uploading into the portal. So yes, host to host is ultimate solution where there is no manual activity involved. So our host is having a file and we are taking that file from this host and we are uploading in the host of the particular bank. This is called as host to host connectivity.
So as a functional consultant, what should be the requirement from the bank? Like what we need to gather, what information we need to gather from the bank?
From the bank, we need the format, nothing else.
Format and the IP address of their server, right?
IP address also, if a functional consultant doesn't know, there is no problem. That will be taken care by the connectivity team.
Okay, like PIPO, those people will handle these things.
Right.
Okay. One more thing, Vikram, your spool is showing waiting, not successful. Why it is like that? Because
It
it
is
is a
not
test
printed.
server?
We are not printed it physically.
Okay.
So when you actually print it, then only it will be converted to printed. Okay. So now you understood the end-to-end APP run. So APP run is starting with the parameters. You have to tell the system which invoices you want to consider, which payment methods you want to consider, which company codes you want to consider in the payment run. Based on the parameters, system will generate a proposal. Okay, proposal will propose you some invoices which are due for payment. If you want, you can remove some of the invoices, or if you want, you can add more invoices which are in the exception list. Once the proposal has been edited, you finalize which invoices needs to be paid, you create a payment, and the payment documents are generated. And once the payments are generated, you can ask the system. So many times, in many cases, you may find your client is using only these three. They are not printing from SAP. Okay, so they have their own Z programs using which they are generating the files and they are sending to the banks and to the vendors. But this is optional functionality. If you want to print, you can print the bank file, send it to the bank, maybe automatically or manually. Again, there are many companies who download this file from APP F110. So what they do is they go to F110, they download the file from here, DME administration. Okay, so they download like the way we have done, and they send this file to the bank through mail. Okay, so maybe in a day, if there are 10 files, 100 files created, at the end of the day, they can send it through the mail if the host connectivity is not set up. If host to host connectivity is set up, automatically these files will be taken from your SAP system to the bank's portal. Okay, so that is something called as printing, which is the last activity in APP. Okay, any questions on APP?
And if payment, yeah, and if payment advice has to be triggered to the mail IDs of vendor, and suppose there are thousands of vendor in that particular program, then we just need to inform the technical team, right? Like this is our form, this is our advice generating, and it should go to these vendors.
Right.
Not
So
more than that.
if email triggering is required in the system, there are some email ports that needs to be activated. Then mandatorily you need to maintain the email ID in the vendor master data of the system. And then there are some email triggers which needs to be activated from the technical team, so that when this event occurs, immediately the mail is triggered to the vendor.
Okay. And we can check it in SOST, I think, right?
Sorry?
Triggering we can check. Triggering we can check in SOST.
Yes, yes. There are a lot of T codes for SOST. Yes, SOST is to monitor the queue. So same way there are multiple T codes. If you want to see the log, if you want to see whether the file has been generated or not, there are multiple transaction codes for that, which are from the technical side.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you want? You want me to continue with a new topic or you want me to stop here? If you allow me another maybe 45 minutes, I can start the topic which is very much similar to what we have understood in APP. It is dunning. So similar to APP in accounts payable, we have dunning procedure in AR, which is very much similar. So if you understood APP properly, you will be able to understand dunning also very clearly. Is it okay? Can I continue for next 45 minutes?
I think we need more practice in this.
Sorry?
I think we need more practice in this.
Okay, no problem. Then we will see the dunning part tomorrow.
Yeah, today's session was really complicated. So, like, is it usually the functional consultant doing all this? Like, because you showed, of course they do, but I'm just curious, like,
Right, right. So even normally I don't, to be frank, this particular batch, because people are showing a lot of interest, I'm going in very much detail. But normally if the batch is like, okay, we are already tired, in that case, this topic, I just cover the overview. I was planning to cover this one only for 30 to 45 minutes, but then due to this good discussion, I thought of continuing. Even APP also normally I cover in one session, but this is good actually, because ultimately I am also enjoying answering the technical questions which are normally not asked in the projects, because we have the technical consultants, we just give it to them, they take care, and we even don't go into that area.
right, that's really awesome.
Okay, so let's close today. We will meet tomorrow with Dunning. Dunning, and I will show you, if possible, the bank reconciliation activity tomorrow. Okay, let's see how much we are able to cover. Thank you all.
Bank
Bye.
reconciliation means manual bank reconciliation.
I will show you both manual as well as electronic. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.